Hey, what's up? It's Ryan. Real quick before we get into this session of THC podcast, I wanted to tell you about the 10-day hustle. Get an advantage over your competition. Make more money in just 10 days, and it's 100% free. My gift to you. Shoot over to 10dayhustle.com or text the word hustle to 44222 and sign up now before we take it down. Again, that's 10dayhustle.com or text the word hustle to 44222. Let's hustle, baby. Welcome to the Hardcore Closer Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Stewman, founder of HardcoreCloser.com. Listen, this podcast is going to help you close more deals. And man, if you're selling cars, if you're selling homes, if you're selling financial services, if you're selling consulting, personal training, insurance, whatever it is, this podcast and the words that I'm going to speak coming out of my mouth. You understand the words coming out of my mouth, right? The things that I'm going to say today are going to help you generate higher quality leads, increase your closing ratios, and show you how to charge premium fees for the items that you sell so you can what? Get paid what you're worth. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to episode number 28. Man, it seems like this is like the weird point in having a podcast, especially starting all over. For those of you who don't know, I've been doing podcasts since 2011, and it used to be called Rockstar Closer, and we, rebranded earlier in 2016. And we're at that weird point where we've done a lot of episodes, like number 28. That's quite a few to me, right? 28 of something's a lot. If you ask my little 5-year-old son, Jax, he says 27. That's like his big infinity number or whatever. Like, Jax, how many people do you think here? 27, right? Like this thing. So 28's a lot, even to Jax. And anyway, but it seems like it should be more. Like, this is that wall that you hit when you're running a marathon, right? You're like, dude, I have ran 14 miles. Shit, I've still got a long ways to go. But anyway, that's where we're at. We're at the wall in the marathon, and we're going to push through it today, ladies and gentlemen. Number 28 of the Hardcore Closer Podcast. Look, I'm glad that you're here. If this is your first time, be sure to check out our other episodes. Apparently, there's 27 of them, so have fun with that. Listen to them in traffic. Listen to them in times of meditation, right? Listen to them in the gym. Listen to them in your car. Just don't listen to them around your fucking kids, all right? And also, hey, I need a favor from you, right? I ask this every week, and it's not even a favor at this point. I need you to do your civic duty as a member of the sales community to help me help more people just like you come into our community here. And I need you to leave me a review on iTunes. Listen, it helps the show a ton, right? Here's how iTunes work. The more people that leave reviews for me over there, the more they'll show me in like the iTunes store or whatever as a trending podcast, which means the more salespeople can find us, and which means the more people that we can help, the more people can listen to this content. It's not fluff. It's not a bunch of stuff that's been recycled and said since the 70s and since the 60s and since Napoleon Hill said it whenever the hell he was like, it's not a bunch of the stuff that you hear on the other sales shows. And I truly believe that, in order to affect 300 million salespeople, which is my goal, right? I need people like you to step up and give me a 5-star review and help me out. Like this guy right here, CD Rapper. I hope that's rapper, or maybe it's raper, or maybe it's C Draper. Let's just go with C Draper. Let's just not be like CD Raper. You never know, right? It's like, it reminds me of a story. Anyway, he says, top-notch boss, 5 stars. This was in April of this year, April 25. Says, been a huge fan for a long time. Needless to say, I keep up with Stewman on multiple levels: Facebook, books, podcasts, email subscription, whatever. So keep up the awesome work. I appreciate that. C Draper, that's pretty cool stuff. CD Raper, CD Rapper. Like, reminds me of that part. Y'all seen, I think it's Black Sheep, right? Where they're like on the road and the nitrous breaks in the car, and he's like, roads. He's like, hey man, I'm stoned, right? Like, leave it to Chris Farley to know, right? Anyway, into the content. In this episode, we're going to talk about things like men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. I think Floyd Mayweather's the one that says that all the time, right? Or he may not be the original person to say that, but he's the one that's always out there promoting it all the time. But these days, salesmen have really gained a bad rap from the liars in the industry. Unfortunately, the industry is full of liars, and motherfuckers will say anything, to make a check, and really anything to be popular, not even to be paid. We go through some fucked up times, right? So like for example, this morning, I'm trying to get a Wikipedia page, and they tell me, hey, you know what? You're nobody. right? We're not going to give you a notable page. And I'm like, really? Because I see people with Wikipedia pages that I know have less followers, don't own real businesses, like have no real credibility in the marketplace, and y'all give them pages. Meanwhile, I've built a successful sales company. I've never borrowed a dime from any institution to be able to run this entire thing. I've built an audience of over 115,000 people. I've built another audience on Instagram of over 25,000 people. I've got a blog with 30 to 50,000 subscribers, depending on who I piss off at all times, and a blog that gets one of the top traffic sales blogs in the world that I started from scratch. And you guys won't give me a Wikipedia page that somebody else was actually trying to write about me, not even myself. That's what's even crazier. But I see people with them out there. It's just like being verified on Facebook. I've built this thing to 115,000 followers, and I can't get a blue check, but I see people that are nobodies that are out there with 50 followers and a blue check. It's real frustrating. And so what I'm saying is, a lot of things are out there lying right now. Right? You think somebody is something because they have a blue check or whatever, or you think somebody is something because the media verifies for them or whatever. It's a lot of bullshit, right? And so anyway, I got off on a little side tangent and the fact that motherfuckers will say anything to make a check, right? They'll go spend $100 of one of the mods at Wikipedia and go, hey man, write a bunch of cool stuff about me. I appreciate it. They got a Wikipedia page. Meanwhile, those of us that do shit the hard way, right? And that do things, not even the hard way, but usually they're synonymous, but do things the right way, really have to work a lot harder. So anyway, but there's a bright side to this. If you'll allow me to elaborate, listen, let me show you how a true, good, honest salesman like you and I can use this to our advantage. Warren Buffett once said, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. And while this may pertain to the stock market and investing in his context, I'm going to take it as do the opposite of the masses. So if the rest of the world is tied up trying to sell lies to get paid, imagine how refreshing it can be if you step in and close with only 100% of the truth. So see, when others are using like shady, useless mental hacks, you can sell with the truth. Service and integrity stand out and ultimately save your clients from the sharks of the world, right? So let's get down to it, right? 3 steps to selling with integrity. And now listen, when it comes to integrity, I'm talking about like true integrity. Now, I'm not somebody over here saying high and mighty, let's go, go to church on Sunday and gee golly wally willy washer be diddly, talking like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons and shit like that, right? That's not me. When I say integrity, I mean ethically doing the right thing, what fits everybody to create a win-win situation between you, your prospect, and whoever else is involved in there, right? So here's the thing. There's a lot of sharks out there that don't sell with integrity. They pretend to be somebody else. We all know people who take money in and never deliver value in exchange, right? We all know people that are complete fraudsters, and then we see them and we're like, how the fuck is this person still in business, right? But there's a sucker born every minute. And we see that, you can fool most of the people most of the time, right? There used to be this old saying, it's like you can fool some of the people most of the time, most of the people some of the time, but not most of the people most of the time. That's bullshit, man. If you know SEO, you can get the right thing ranked on Google. You can fool all the motherfuckers all the time because that's what they trust, right? And so that adage is really changed a lot. And so people know that. And there's always been sales, quote unquote, sharks out there, right? The bad guys. And there's always been a savage to save them from the sharks, right? But there's always been sharks out there. And I think it's important for those of us that do sell with integrity. This is what makes us not only stand out, but selling with integrity is not just telling your prospects like, hey man, I'm integral. I am integrativist. Yes, integrative. I am integrativist. I believe in integritioso, right? Like you can't go through and I'm having moments today. Guys, just share with me. So you can't just go through and like tell them you're integrity. You have to operate, right? And so the first thing that you have to do is you have to get in agreement with yourself that you won't lie for a sale. Now, I'm talking even little white lies, because here's what happens. You find yourself in one lie and it's almost as if the damn prospect knows, right? They're like, oh shit, there's that look in his eyes. I'm going to ask him for something else just to fuck with him a little bit. And then you're telling 2 lies. When I was a kid, there was like this Saturday morning TV show, and there was this song. I still remember, like all these years later, it was like, you tell one lie, it leads to another. And like, and I remember that and thinking as a little kid, like, damn, you're right, man. If you tell one lie, you got to tell like 50 to cover it up, and then you got to hope you remember all of them. That's just why I'm a terrible liar. So I just, part of being integrity for me is just being lazy, just being straight up. It's like easier just to be honest and say whatever the hell really needs to be said than it is for me to try to remember what the fuck I told you when I made up some fake shit about you, right? So, but here's the thing. You have to be in agreement with yourself that you won't lie to yourself and you won't lie to the prospect. I'll give you an example. In '08, when I was in the mortgage business, I was forced to hire this 63-year-old dude named Bob. When you're a felon and you get a job, whether you're the top producer or whatever, people always feel like they did you a fucking favor. Right? It was always some thumb bullshit they could hold over my, like they keep their thumb on me, right? Some bullshit they hold over my head. So the old boss, he's like, hey man, we're going to fire this old dude, but we need you to take him on because we don't want to fire him. And I'm like, take him on as what? And I had just started making maybe I had my first $10,000 month, right? I just got back out of prison and shit like that. So it's not like it was lucrative times at the Stewman. And no, I didn't even have a household. It was just me sleeping at friends' houses and shit, right? And so anyway, this 63-year-old dude, he comes up. He's like, yeah, man, I'd love to work for you, blah, blah, blah. And the first thing that he said to me, he's like, listen, man, just so you know, he didn't really know me or anything like that, but he knew I'd been to prison and I was getting a second chance over here at this bank I work for. The first thing he said is, I'll do anything you want me to do, but I won't lie. Other than that, I'm down for whatever. And I'm like, cool, go. I pointed the dude across the room. I was going to go kick his ass. Show me how bad you want this job. He was like, what? I was playing, but hey, if you say he would do anything, but he wouldn't lie, right? And so anyway, just this guy was about to lose his job. He knew he was about to lose his job. I was his last leg, but he was mentally tough enough and was integrity enough with himself that he wanted to have that conversation with me. And it gave me respect for him. It opened my eyes to a world where we can still speak what's on our mind in a very forthright way and dominate. I wasn't mad. I was actually he gained more respect for him. And guess what? This guy, man, Bob, if you're listening to this, get back to work, you old fuck. But this guy, man, I worked with him for 2 years. I became the top producer in the company. And when I left, I lost my mortgage license, right? When I left in 2010, the same bastards that were going to fire him hired him to be their personal assistant. Like, you're welcome. I trained that guy, motherfuckers. Anyway, they're really cool people. They're not motherfuckers. They're motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I saw this thing the other day. My boy Alex, right? He shows me this picture, and it's like how girls do things. It's like two stick figures, and to the first part, or three stick figures. The first part is one of them walking off. They're like, bye, girl, and we love you. And as soon as the little stick figure walks off, the other two girls are like, girl, she's such a hoe, right? Like they're talking behind her. And then it says how dudes communicate, right? And so the dude's like, later, you motherfucker. Yeah, what a fucking asshole. And then when the dude was out of the way, the dudes are having the conversation like, he really is a good guy, right? It's kind of cracked me up because that's how we are. Anyway, so when I say motherfucker, it's a term of endearment, you fuck. All right. Second, you got to be willing to say hard shit to hard heads. Man, when you're going to sell with integrity, it's hard because it's easy to lie to get a sale. And a big thing, hey, I'm just, I do this too, not the lying part, but I'm a big believer in ask for permission, last and forgiveness first, right? So hey, I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission on a lot of things, but I'm not going to lie. And so a lot of salesmen have that kind of fucked up. They think, hey, I'm going to ask for forgiveness later, but I'm just going to lie to get what I want now. It's like, because we know once we get a commission check, they ain't getting that shit back. So we'll say whatever we want to say to be able to get that commission check. And then we know that we don't have to give it back to them. So we'll ask forgiveness and tell them I'm sorry. Right. And it's bullshit. If you do that, like bang your fucking head against the desk, man, fucking stop that shit. Right. You got to be willing to say the hard shit. A true salesman isn't the one that tells the best lie. Right. A true salesman isn't the one that can fucking bullshit the prospects the most. Right? That's not a salesman. It's a fucking con artist. A true salesman is someone that can have the hard fucking conversations and tell the raw, unfiltered truth and still get the prospect to want to fucking hand them all their money. That's a true fucking salesman. Don't get it fucked up. If you lie for sales, if you bullshit your way into prospects, if you're out there claiming things that really ain't fucking true, you're not a fucking salesman. You're a con artist. But if you're out there fucking telling it like it is, doing things the hard way, having the tough conversations and passing up on the objections, congratulations, because a lot of people ain't. Congratulations. But when you step up and have the balls and you say what needs to be said in the face of prospect adversity, they will not only buy from you because of respect, they'll thank you for being the fucking person to give it to them straight. You see, when I sold mortgages, people would show up and they'd say, well, the other bank told me they were going to give me a 3.25% interest rate. And I'm like, dude, their interest rates are fucking 7%. I'm looking at them. Now, here's the deal. At 3.25%, you're taking a gamble. Right? You're taking a gamble that is like betting on a trifecta at a fucking horse race. Okay? Because here's the thing. In order for you to get that 3.25 fucking interest rate, you've got to be on an interest only 2-year fucking arm with a 3-year payment penalty with 2 points in the front, paying 2 points in the back, all your closing costs plus paying. And I would explain to them all this shit. And then I would amortize it and I would say, look, you're really paying fucking 7%, which I can have you done in 30 days. And it would have been easy for me to say, oh, well, I can do it at 3%, get all their information, drag them through the fucking thing for 3 weeks like a lot of the sharks in the mortgage industry did, and then be like, oh, my bad, but since we're this far, don't quit now, but it's 7% like I said it was originally. Right? Like, when I was a loan officer, man, I fought Lending Tree and Lower My Bills and all those places, right? And Bank Rate. And people go, well, Bank Rate says the interest rate's 0, right? They just said they're giving fucking money away. Come collect it. All I need to show up with was my ID and a fucking DNA sample, and I could just have whatever the fuck, right? I remember those days. It's probably still the same way. I don't know, because none of us use those services anymore because we can generate our own goddamn leads because of that, right? But anyway, it was frustrating as hell, right? But so I have to push through those objections and be the real deal to them. So, and which brings me to my third point is you have to instill doubt into your prospect's mind about your competitors, right? When that person says, hey, well, Bank Rate can give me a 3% interest rate and the interest rate's really 7%, I have to say, hey, well, you know, like how many 5-star reviews does Bank Rate have? And here's how Bank Rate works. They don't know you. They haven't seen you. They don't know what your credit looks like. They don't know this, that, and the other. They're giving you a generalized quote until you commit with them. And then what they're going to do is they're going to drag you through the mud for 3 weeks. And guess what? Lower My Bills gets 40,000 leads per day. Right? So out of 40,000 people, do you think you're going to get any kind of special priority treatment when it comes to sorting your stuff out, making sure you're the right one that fits their, they don't have to be outside of the box because of the fact that they get 40,000 leads a day. Now, are you sure that you're that qualified without any blemishes in your entire life that you can float through their entire system streamlessly and be 1 in a million that makes it out the other side with that interest rate, sir? I didn't either, right? So give me your fucking social security number and let's get rolling over here, right? So when you can sell past that and you can put that, like, listen, if you know the competitors are lying, you can't just call them a liar because that's like being a salty ex. You know, like if the competitor's a goddamn liar, you can't go, he's a goddamn liar, because then they're like, oh, he's just salty because I take all of his clients. You know, he's not into it, and I keep taking his money, gets all mad at me, so he just like don't pay him no mind, right? Like you just look like a little bitch. But when you say, well, here's been the experience of the people that I've helped in the past, and you won't be the first person that I have rescued from this operation, and here is how they work. I'm not saying they're a bad place, and I'm just saying that there's a process, and the process includes 30,000 new people per day. Do you think that you're going to stand out and fit inside the box or get any type of special treatment when it comes to that sort of volume? Me, I'm going to do 30 this month, which means I can spend my time custom tailoring everything that needs to be done just for you so that everything is on time, perfect, tucked in, nice, neat in a box with a bow on top. I don't think they'll do that over there, do you? Right? So that way you're putting them, what is it? You're slide dissing. We'll call it that. You slide dissing the competition. You're just instilling that fear, right? So let's give a quick recap of 3 things that you can do to really step up and sell with integrity. And it's going to make your life a lot easier, right? Because listen, I can tell you what, I've been running this company for 5 years now. We have 0 complaints. If you look at any of our pages, there's no haters. There's nobody complaining about. I'm not saying there's not haters that call me douchebag and shit like that. I'm talking about customers that are mad at us. They don't exist. And here's why. It's because we sell with integrity and we set the expectation up front. In the event that something ever does go wrong, we handle our business with them, but we don't have things go wrong because my team and I sell with integrity. We set the expectation up. We don't have to lie for sales. We say the hard shit and still push past the objection and close the sale. And we show them that our competitors are nothing like us and will not operate with the same level that we will, and they won't get the results that they want from them. And we don't have to bash our competitors. We just give it to them straight. You can do the same thing. Look, moving past that, here's what you need to do. You need to join the 10-day hustle, right? Like, just like start your trip. If you like, just sell like these 3 things I taught you today. Start that with the 10-day hustle, right? Like there's some things in there. It's going to teach you a lot of prospecting stuff. It's going to teach you about the social proof. It's going to teach you how to do some social reconnaissance, how to get in front of people. And at the end of 10 days, you'll have 100 new prospects that you've recently talked to. So you have like a warm dream 100 list. Look, get the 10-day hustle. Go to text hustle to 44222, and it'll pop up on your phone right there. Just sign up for it. Drop your email in there. Text hustle to 44222. So if you want to get the show notes and all that good stuff, go over to hardcorecloser.com. It'll be at the top. There is a what's known as a menu, ladies and gentlemen, or if you're on the mobile device, there's a drop down that's known as a menu, and it says podcast in there. All of the podcasts that I've ever been interviewed on, all the Rockstar Closer, all the Sales Finesse, and of course the THC podcast are on there as well. Hey, follow me and connect with me everywhere on social media. Go to clixo.com/closer. That's CLYXO.com/closer. You can also subscribe to the show there and give me reviews and all that good stuff right there from Clixo, so that you can help a brother out with them 5 stars I'll be asking about. Oh, and by the way, while you're at Clixo, I happen to own the company. Sign up. It's absolutely free. Got nothing to sell you. I don't even spam or send out fucking emails or any of that shit. It's just my gift to the sales community. You guys sign up, CLYXO.com. And again, find me there, clixo.com/closer. See you on the next show, y'all.